Hello everybody, Brooke and Linda here on our Twitch stream. Linda? Today we're talking about, or as usual, we're talking about the development of our game After the Light, zombie horror game. Linda is actually going to take us through the animating of King Leon's stagger. So when we hit King Leon, he's basically got to stagger backwards. We can't do that with physics. I set you up in here.
So. Oh, I thought it was Margaret.
No. No, Margaret's got to look after herself now. Okay. Margaret's giving a talk today, actually. She's giving a talk on technology and education, I think. Something like that for Ministry of Awesome. Yeah. Let me see if I can go into our... Nope. I'm just going to try and keep up with this on Twitch, so voila. Yeah, so I guess we'll start off with starting the movie that you brought along, Linda. So you can. We should be starting. Yes, we're off and ready. Okay.
The first thing is I'm decided to just using a source about the mockups animation source.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is you can find the source in the marketplace in Unreal. That one called Zombie something.
Okay, so this is actually not the process you usually go through, where Margaret and I play around like idiots and film.
Yes, it's I modified just from mockup source. So currently I'm doing is to map the skeleton to the human IK, because I'm going to retarget the animation from the mockup source to my zombie. This one is King Leon's rig. So currently it's like to check all the rigs and map that mockup.
Keep talking to me. I'm just going over there to plug the network in.
Okay. So firstly, it's load the skeleton and set up your character in a basic T pose, but the source has already set up on the T pose, so I don't need to change anything. And then just after I finish that one, and then I will open the skeleton of King Leon and select the human IK plate. Using the source is a reference to the that mockup file, and go to the source selection and select that skeleton animation source, so we could retarget that animation to the new rig for currently it's the King Leon's. I'm quite thirsty.
So how much work is it to retarget? Because two different skeletons, one in the...
Yeah, just as I said, firstly you have to import in a new thing. You have to import that source animation skeleton, and keep the skeleton have no keys, and you should keep the pose like a T pose. Yes, and something you need to focus is you need to follow the guide about the human IK. You can find a help folder document and open it. You can find a basic T pose is like you always need to face it on the front, just means is positive of the X axis in the world center, and and in your foot should always on the front, and your palm, especially your palm and your arms, need to be straight.
Okay.
After that, you should map every joints to the human eye case that map one.
Okay. So it looked weird there for a while. He had four hands and.
Yes, that's just the right, just small skeleton image, and double click every cells, and to assign the different joints to the different cells. So that's the map scene. After that, you need to load the animation file to that skeleton file, and then copy the every keyframe to the control skeleton. After that, that's the source file I finished, and then open the target file. That's King Leon, and also open the human IK plate, and in that window you just select the King Leon's skeleton, and also for the second line is the source file. Just the source file, you need to import that animation file about the source files. It's kind of complicated, but after you practice maybe 2 or 3 times, it will be easier to understand.
Okay. Hello to the Sui Henrik who's just joined us. Someone new. So have you not seen Linda before? Linda's presented quite a lot of our animation lessons. In fact, all the animation lessons. Yeah, so I guess even after you've got all the bones matched up for all the moves in this thing, we actually have extra bones controlling things like the panels on the skirt, the pauldrons and the shoulders and things like that. So you have to go through, and the cape, you have to go through and make adjustments then to fit the new movements.
Like the animation, because I'm using the mocap animation, but it doesn't matter if you use mocap animation or you just keyframes by your hand. So all the extra bones,
I was going to say he did something nasty to his ankle there.
I will just leave them in after I finish the main body's animation. And currently I'm doing is I think I just finished to copy the first pose to the new animation.
He was
the first
dancing there,
frame. Yes, it's because we faster the speed. I just import the animation, and I need to, because that mockup animation is quite long, so I need to just cut a piece of the animation file. It's like that one actually looks like the normal zombies. They are quite weak, so about the stack back animation, they actually step back about 4 or 5 times. And for King Leon, and I'm thinking about for the game, when you play the game, you don't want we pay a lot of attention on this animation. So I just choose 60 above 60 frames, about 2 seconds. So I just cut the front part of the animation from the mocap source.
Okay.
And then I just
so you cut the front part. Why did you cut the front part? Is that because you need to actually start with something closer to his...
Yes. Actually, the mockup source about the same animation have 3 different ones.
Okay.
5 different ones actually, and just choose the similar pose. I just focus on the legs to make sure the leg they have same leg on the front. so it's easy for me to
Blend.
Yes, to blend.
Yes, I'm learning.
And so just after I place the same fight pose on the front and the end, and the next thing I'm doing is to try to make all the animation blend together, and not on the front end and even on the middle, because the pose I try to make them similar, but they are not same. So in the source file, the mockup file, the animation about the character hips are always just face on the front, but mine, the King Leon's just lean to the right. So that's the main part I need to fix about to make the hips rotation. It looks natural.
When you kill a zombie, does he just despawn or go into ragdoll, or do you play an animation that goes into ragdoll?
Yeah.
So for most of the zombies, we just switch them into ragdoll, essentially. So as the bullet hits, we turn on the physics, turn off his animations, apply force where the bullet is, and see what happens. At the moment, that looks a bit strange because we haven't quite figured out the physics constraints, but yeah, so it's mainly ragdoll. King Leon's case, this stagger back is not his death; it's just essentially one hit.
Yes.
So when you give him a hit, he staggers back. We're still not sure what we're doing with death. Probably actually animate it.
Yeah. Just one one choice is made it by hand and create some like dramatic days.
Yeah. It's got to be a bit of theatre, doesn't it? Because he's the last boss.
Yes.
He does look like he's tap dancing there.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of soft shoe shuffle.
Yeah. In front step, I just the first step I just focus on the hips and the both legs, and I don't touch anything on like his arms. It's his arm. He actually holding the sword on his shoulder with his right arm. So I will just next step is just I will just delete all the middle animation, because I don't want to change the hand position, because if we just want to drop the arm on the ground, it's quite need more time to put his sword back to his shoulder.
Okay.
So I just think about that, just ignore this part, and I will delay all the animation for the arm, for the right arm, because I will just keep the sword on his shoulder.
So what happens when we shoot him and he's dragging his sword?
Just after maybe lost 50 or 70% of the life value, the
yes,
life
but
thing, and he will like I'm still thinking if we need another animation to or a thing to make kind of like he's quite weak.
Because when he's coming towards you, he's got a sword on his shoulder.
Yes.
So this is the thing I'm thinking.
Yes.
So you shoot him and he staggers back.
Yes.
But at one point he's actually dragging his sword along the ground.
Yes.
What happens if you shoot him then?
Yeah, probably.
Do we need another animation or?
Yeah, I think it's better to add another animation, like. But currently we have this pose to that drag animation part. We have the in between animation for these two poses.
I know what we'll do. There's some sort of magical spell that you can't shoot him when he's actually raising zombies. So you got to shoot the other zombies.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah, so he's protected. You can only shoot the other zombies.
Yeah. could just like all other zombies just go to your front from his back, and up a big group of zombies, and King Leon will just drop his sword on the ground.
So the Sweet Henrik says it would be a bit of work, but you could have multiple animations depending on where he got hit and go into ragdoll a bit in, so he reacts to the shot. I think that would be cool, but once again it would involve some work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the nice thing about using ragdoll is it does cut out a lot of work.
Yes.
But yeah, for this last character, of course, this is the dramatic end to a stressful movie you've been playing, basically. So, yeah, we need to actually choreography what happens here. So he needs to look good when he staggers. He needs to, it needs to look real. It needs to look real when he dies. It's got to feel dramatic.
Yeah, just the special one, and all other just general zombies. We are all using the red doll to cause damage and death, and we still found the problem bug about when we use the physics for the death, and it always like have some broken arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Firstly, I thought it was I didn't check the skin weight for the arms. Actually, I checked and fixed some problem. I thought it was a problem, but actually it was not. So we'll still try to find what's wrong with it.
So I think Lincoln's actually having a look at now the capsules and the physics collider stuff to see if something like that is actually bending that arm in the wrong place. And it looked like it might be because the capsule itself sort of finished halfway down the arm instead of going all the way down the arm. So maybe getting an arrow in the face, puts his hand on his face, goes into ragdoll. Yeah. I like the idea of being able to shoot him in the face with an arrow. We should make sure that when he's shot with arrows on the non-metal parts of his body, they stick in. So we can make him look like a hedgehog after a while just by shooting arrows at him.
Actually, when I do the stack bag, I was thinking about when this animation will happen. Because for this piece of animation, it's just from the first pose of fighting. So if we shoot in the middle of the fighting, how could we connect?
Yeah, so
it?
yeah, he's got a number of activities that he actually does. So there's when he's coming towards you with the sword on his shoulder, that's when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
When he's actually walking around the room, he's dragging his sword, so that's another one.
Yeah.
Does he run towards you?
No.
Don't think he does.
Yeah.
So you've only really got two states to actually be concerned about. Yeah. When he's up close and hitting you, it's too late. You're not going to, even if you shot him, I don't know what you do because he's going to kill you anyway the moment he shoots you. Yeah, he hits you.
Yeah, I think...
so you can't let him get that close. So mostly it's only those two states you have to worry about.
Yeah. And I think we need to test in the game so we could know what kind of animation we still need. Right.
It's going to be so fun when we've got the whole gameplay up and running so we can start doing that. I'm really looking forward to actually...
Have you checked the cross-eye, cross-jaws animation?
Cross-eyed Joe?
Cross-eyed Joe. Yes.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Because at first I just retagged the animations in the Unreal from the general zombies. But you say it's good if we could keep the pose like the artwork. So I just did some...
Yeah, the hunched over. Yeah.
So I just did some changes about the animation and it just looked different.
Oh, I'd love to see. I'd love to see. tea was cold.
Do you want to grab that new one?
No, I think I'll have to. I'll have to be content with cold tea.
About the animation, we modify from the mockup source. It's kind of just like import the source animation and retarget the animation. Then you are going to do is to blend the first pose and fix all the animation curves because they are full of the keyframes. You could do is you could delete extra frame if you think they are not the key pose, or another thing is you just open the animation graphic editor, and then we change the pose, and then we use some deformer to change the animation curve and make them smooth.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that. Using an editor to just modify the lots of keyframes together.
So when we're modifying, so we've talked about this before, when you're actually doing motion capture, every frame's a keyframe almost, or is. Why do we need to, given that each successive frame actually corrects the last one, why do we need to smooth them?
You just make them, if you smooth the animation curves, actually if you see the character animation, it will be just very just natural and smooth, and don't it cause some like wheels jumping.
And so that jumping is when the mocap, I guess, is not working particularly well.
That's not the problem.
What we call dirty data.
Actually, sometimes you will find this one, but because I'm for some moment I just changed the joints animation, the joints like rotation or something else, and for this frame I changed, so I need to blend the both sides to blend the animation looks, they are linked together. So that's why I need to do changes in the animation curves, because if I just ignore the animation curve and just directly modify on the rigs, it will take times to just and it's not good to change the pose one by one. Like there are lots of frames, and you cannot keep your your animation or pose just look smoothly. But if you directly change it in the animation curve, you could at least keep that period of time, and the from pose A to pose B, it will look natural.
Okay. So is his mouth animating when he staggers backwards?
It's the neck back, because the after I delete the arms animation and just keep it in the same position, and will follow by the body, and then Killian's head will always go through the sword, so I need to fix that part.
Ah, yes. So big clipping problem there when carrying that monster sword over his shoulders.
Yeah, I don't want to cut his neck.
We'll cut his horns off, that's the other thing that can happen there. Got those big horns that look very impressive, but every time he turns his head, he's...
That sword will be very sharp if the sword could cut his horn.
Well, it could be. imagine that? No, almost. I guess not. Be easier to imagine him cutting his own throat, really.
Those lines and those stuff is the animation, like to track your animation path. So from this one, you could know.
So you're tracking his pelvis there, by the look of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
the hips.
He's doing his Elvis thing.
Sometimes, if you found actually the line is or the point is here, but actually your controller is not here, it's because you changed the other controller's position, and you need to like rebake the animation again, and that thing will renew. So it's kind of like a bug in Maya.
There's a few of those.
Yeah.
Maya's got its own personality almost. Alright, so what's the next step? What are we going to do now?
To fix the spine and the neck, just from the hip to spine to neck and head, and then the also at the same time you need to focus on the both legs, and the arm is the last thing I fixed.
Okay. It's fuck use according to Sergi. He does have an interesting accent.
Oh.
Alright, so you're not actually touching the extra bones here, are you? Just doing the
Just
standard
doing
ones.
the body joints.
So I guess we've got a few recommendations for the Sui Henrik if he hasn't been watching the animation streams.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have a look at the ones where Margaret did the sniffer zombie. That's one of my
Yes.
favourites.
Yes.
We had to shoot reference
Go
videos.
from the
And
list.
Margaret did an amazing job of being a sniffer.
Yes, it's really, really like creepy.
It quite creeped me out actually. I didn't want to go near her after.
Yeah. Like yesterday, those kids really love that sniffer animation.
Yes. Yeah, they did. Yeah, yesterday everybody missed it, but we had kids through from one of the local schools, some gifted kids, who came to have a look at how game development was done in our studio. But yeah, they loved they loved Margaret being the sniffer zombie.
The one thing is, one kid said, "Why all the female zombies have beard?" Have beard.
They have beards?
Yes, actually they are blood. So I just zoom in and said that's not that's just blood, because I don't want to scare them. But looks like they don't scare at all.
See, that's an even creepier thought that they grow beards after they die.
When surgery do the hair for jaw, because they are transparency for every piece, and then I said we can just move it to the jaw and could eyes a bear for every zombie. It will be fun. Yeah, fix the legs.
Cool.
Actually, this the first pose for King Leon, they are quite actually on the same line with the front, the left foot and the right foot, so it's kind of not easy to put this animation, the stag back, because you need to think about how to move his leg to back, just like step back from this one straight line to it is kind of very difficult to control the balance.
Okay.
So we need to.
And it does have to look real. If he does tilt too far, you'd expect him to fall over, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's, well, I know that's one of the things animators have to think about a lot is gravity.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of what, where is it? Dots the time of positions. Oh, on that graph at the top there. Yeah, I think each dot's a keyframe, isn't it? Yeah, each dot is actually a keyframe in the animation.
Yeah.
And you can see
keys.
Yeah.
Just keys.
Keys. Okay.
Because they are from the mockups, also they keyed every frame.
Okay.
When they record the animation.
Yes, if this wasn't mocap data, if it was just the normal data that Linda puts together, there wouldn't be so many dots. Because without mocap, you tend to set just key positions and let the hardware actually fill in for you. The GPU, when you're doing Maya, will actually help generate in between frames.
Yeah.
It is Maya you're using, isn't it? Yes. I can see it at the top. Microsoft Maya. Autodesk Maya, but I just keep expecting that one day Microsoft will own everything. So. Yeah, he looks a bit staggery. He looks like he's had a drink or two. Gone to the pub thinking he'll fight any challenger with his big sword. Yeah, I'm amazed at how far some of those points actually are out. Not that I noticed when he was doing his animation, I didn't actually notice the sudden jump, but there it is for all to see.
Oh, yeah, because I just made a change.
So, okay. So you fixed it, you broke it, now you had to fix it, right?
Yes. Every time when I want to change the position, and I need to check the animation files, because as we said, we sometimes we just delete the some keyframes, and then the software will automatically fill the animation. Wow, it's a lot, because I select all the animations.
Yeah, I was going to say that's quite a field of.
Yeah, it's because I found the for some period of time I feel this part is too slow, so I need to make the time shorter.
So the Sweet Henrik says, "Are those medieval metal high-heeled boots?"
I think it's not high-heeled, but it's boots.
Yeah. I don't think it. Yes, so you're right. I don't think it's that the heel is high, but rather than the covering, the plates that actually make up the shoe and the boot just come down in a particular way that you end up with a high instep on the shoe, but his heel is still very much on the ground.
Yeah.
doing his head now, are we?
Yes.
So you sort of work outside in, don't you? So the things that move the most you do first.
It's like your body parts. The very important part is the hips. Then you need to think about your both arm and also your upper body, just step by step. After, if you just made keep them by your hands from mocap, like from the video resource, you need to take all the key pose. So firstly, you just to go to every key moment to put all the key pose, and in this situation, actually, you are both work for all the body, like not just the hips first, but also keep the hips, legs, and also up body part at the same time. You need to pose a very good position, and just after that, the animation. If you if you just put all the keyframe in, and the animation will be beautiful. But if you find the wrong time moment, you will find it's hard to bring this character and make it have a very good and beautiful middle animations. That's why for very experienced animator, they actually just have very like less keyframes, but for the animator have not much experience, they will have a lot of keyframes on the files, but not for the mocap. Mocap is different.
Yeah, I guess so. So the way they're using their points, the points aren't an approximation. They're actually, there for colouring and shaping the real person.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that made sense at all. I'm feeling quite dozy again. I think somebody's turned the air conditioner off altogether.
You need a coffee.
I do. I need a coffee. I need a coffee and a cup of tea. I need the coffee to sort of bring me awake and the tea to calm me down.
Fix the legs part.
Okay, but you can see there he was a little unbalanced and off to the side, so I guess that's one of the features of a stagger is you are off balance, aren't you? That's why you're moving, staggering. They do look like high heels.
It reminds me that those female zombies, because one of the characters wears underwears, right?
Yep.
The female, so
She's our super fast zombie.
She has no shoes, so which means she actually have no high heels. But for the other female zombie, are all wear the high heels. So I don't want to change the skeleton, so I just make her legs longer.
Made the legs longer.
Yeah. To make the heel just put on the ground, just from the knee to the heel.
So she stays the same
longer.
size.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I don't want to create another pair of the skeleton. I just want the same female zombies share the same skeleton and share the same animation.
Yeah. So you're getting ready to do some dancing zombies and some.
Dancing zombie. We need a reference.
Well, actually, I think we need mocap. I think we should use mocap to actually get the dancing zombies.
What kind of dancing?
No, it's one of the things we talked about is, well, everybody, I suppose, with a zombie does Thriller, but maybe we're not going to do Thriller, but we might do Whoops, I Did It Again. I think one of those things are completely unexpected.
Good idea.
I think it's something we should give to people that are early adopters of the game, is the ability to make the zombies dance. So we'll give them a dance bolt for the crossbow or something
Yeah.
that they can use one in every level to make a zombie stop and do his. Looks like he's tap dancing. That's yeah, so really his foot is, in fact, quite a way up already. It's tilted quite a way up, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it is as though he's wearing high heels, or at least platforms.
Yesterday I got a dream. I dreamed the whole world is have no electric.
The whole world has no electricity?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really weird.
So what happened?
Just everything stopped work. Like people have don't need to go to work, and if you want to do a shower, have no hot water.
Mm-hmm.
So
So best not go to work being stinky, you know.
and even the buses stop. Yeah, because in the dream I was thinking about at that moment I feel I'm going to work, and then we found just all the buses stop working. So I'm thinking, how can I go to work? I feel like it will take me half day to go to our office, and then I realized, but it was no electricity in the whole world, so we don't need to go to work.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to turn on your computer.
Yes.
Wouldn't be doing Twitch. Be a really rough day.
Interesting.
Some more curve smoothing going on here.
Yes. With this speed, really looks like dancing.
Yeah. I'm impressed on it. For a guy in armour, he's quite light on his feet. How much do our zombies weigh, do we know?
What?
How much do they weigh, do you think?
Don't know.
Because he'd be really heavy because he's got
Yes.
lots of armour on.
Of course, even the boots is like mental feeling. Quite heavy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically just finished all the body's animation.
Okay, so what do we do now? We're going for
I think,
the new bones, the small bones.
yeah, so it's like, oh yes, I'm right.
Stop the skirt clipping.
Yeah. Just I want to firstly do some keyframes, and I just keep samples for some very some moments I think which is important, and then I will just typically fold them to modify every skeleton, every joints, and make the skirt to fill his body, to make sure the skirt are not cross through the legs.
Okay, so you're essentially making sure that, well, essentially, because one of the things that's happening is his legs are actually clipping through the top ones in particular, so you're making sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. The good thing for his skirt is because the skirt is quite short and also quite heavy because it's made of, the material is kind of like leather. So I don't need to think about how the skirt will fly by the wind or something like that. So I just need to make sure the skirt not cross the leg. That's an important thing.
Yeah. Or blow up when he walks over a grating.
Yeah, it will.
That would be funny if his skirt blows up when he...
Outtakes.
You can see that he walks over a grating and the skirt goes...
His dress cannot do that. The skirt, sorry, not dress. Because it's a leather skirt.
Okay.
So it's kind of heavy and thick.
I think we should do it anyway.
Well, okay.
Have him cross his hands up. Just it starts to go up, and then he crosses his hands in front, and only the back blows up.
Yes. That's good.
There's lots of opportunities for humour in outtakes from video games.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to doing some.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking if I have no task need to do, I will think about to do some outtakes.
Ah, nice cape, says the sweet Henry.
Yeah.
Yes. Cape with its own bones in it. It's a bit of a tatty cape because he's been buried for a while, so it didn't survive as well as he did.
Actually, it's hardly to see the cape and behind, but we still need to do the animations anyway.
Yeah. He's dead, he didn't survive. No, true, he did. He survived better than the cape though, because even though he didn't survive, I think the cape came off worst. Probably rats or something in his crypt would have been at that cape.
Can we just? I'm thinking about for some zombies we actually could add some like arrows or just through his body.
Well, the nice thing is, if we do this right, we should be able to stick arrows in his body and just have them stay. That would be really good. Like I said, turn him into a hedgehog over the course of a game. Just keep sticking arrows in him.
Yeah.
I wonder how many we can put in before we start affecting the frame rate. I'm betting we can probably put a few hundred bolts in if we wanted to.
Yeah, about the mock-up source, we that source file, I also found the animation is called zombie on file. So just like
Very good. The Sweet Henrik says, are you sure about that? I don't think he feels the same, if dead people can feel, that is. Yeah, I'm sure he'd probably be a wee bit annoyed when he wakes up after going to sleep 600 years ago. He wakes up to find he's dead. That would be a real nuisance. Not only that he's dead, but everything's decayed. He's got practically no arm muscles.
Yeah.
Still wearing that stupid dress that he wore on the last day.
Why not? It's golden.
No, he does dress fairly well.
The boots, golden, shiny.
Yeah.
Pick up the controllers and hold your hands out, which is your blue hands. Grab both of them, and then you squeeze all the triggers.
Animations, animate the capes. No, that's the last thing. Oh, no.
Apparently the cape was dead before it was even alive. No, the cape is just tatters of a cape. The cape would have been really long down to the floor, probably. And this is all that's left. We've gone all silent again. We need Margaret here to crack jokes. Or tell us what we should be doing.
Just
I wonder how her talk went.
doing the animating thing for the cape
Mm-hmm.
to make this one just like as his action
Mm-hmm.
to wave from the left to right.
Do we have any zombies with cloaks? No, I don't think we do.
No.
No. Most unusual zombie we've got wears Victorian swimmers undies, so some bloomers. And no shoes. She hasn't got shoes, that one, right? That's why you made her legs longer.
Yeah, all the general male zombies are barefoot,
Okay.
and the females, 6 of them have shoes, high-heeled shoes, and one of them just bared because just underwears, and others all have shoes or boots. Yeah, looks like that. No, I'm back. I still feel actually we could. I feel the skeleton for those not only King Leon but also for the skeleton soldier.
Mm-hmm.
About the skeleton, just bones part.
Yeah.
I feel could be more like bigger than this one. Too tiny.
No, that's a good point. So, if you've got people chucking anything.
Because in the game, sometimes you don't need to follow the real life, especially like only skeleton part. And if you just follow the realistic life, of course, actually they are correct. The actual one maybe just like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to easily to see what's that, we could scale bigger a little bit to make it thick, not just very thin, maybe like this big. Just my sword.
Okay.
Yeah, just notice when we want to grab the sword, and that fix need to to move his finger and grab this sword.
Okay.
So that's the thing to aid in the end.
Right, well, he's looking quite mean. He's all set up to come charging at you. Can't you use physics to calculate the cape?
Yes, we can.
Yes. It comes at a huge cost, and for VR that might not work for us. So cloth physics, although nice and natural looking, can be quite expensive.
Yeah, we could use that physics to do those animations, follow animations. But currently we are not using it.
Okay. They have to do something like. Oh. If you keep it real, the hands would fall off because of lack of muscles. It's true.
That's true.
It's true. He doesn't have much holding his gloves on. Some bony old fingers.
Yeah. We imagine he has some special power. Yeah, I think it's time to finish all the skeleton and it's time to bake all the joints, bake all the keyframes and delete, clear the file and export the FBX.
Okay. So we must be coming up pretty close to the end of things here.
Yes.
I think. And we still haven't got Margaret back, so she's going to miss the stream altogether today. Where are we at? I can't read that.
I think it's like
Looks
the
like 56.
last.
So we must be coming up to the slowed down portion where we get to
Yes.
see it for real.
Yes.
Because that's what I want to see now, is I want to see how the whole thing worked out.
Yeah. It's already the last piece of work, so it's the original speed.
Okay.
And we could show the animation in Unreal. That's the zombie group.
So this is your staging area, unlike Sergi's little cave room.
Yes,
You've got
mine
an
just
open air room.
just an open air.
Probably easier to see the effects of light and stuff when you've got a nice bright background.
Yes.
You probably set that automatically, right? So it goes.
Yeah, actually, just view those animations in the persona, and it's just individually opens in a new window. So for those one, I just assign each of zombie one of the animation to keep them just repeat. Import the FBX.
Okay.
Found the skeleton mesh.
Yes. Patience, everybody. It's happening.
And here it is.
Right. Oh yes. Bang. Bang. Bang.
I don't know if we raise the speed, if it will could be if you feel it's too slow, you could raise speed a little bit, and then I will just link some animation together, like montage some animation piece and see if they could well linked together.
Okay. I'm dozing off again. Air conditioner's on now, but I'm still doing it.
Fresh air.
Yeah. I'm going to start bringing Coke to this thing. I mean Coca-Cola, not cocaine. Or an energy drink or something, just so I can sit here and get hyper and excited.
Next time, you could have some V.
Yeah, some V.
I really don't like the Red Bull. I feel it's too sweet.
I haven't tried any of them.
Really?
No. Never tried energy
I
drink.
like V. Especially when we drive to Lake Tekapo. We'll always bring some.
Okay. Because you want to be really excited when you're out there in the calm country.
Always because I couldn't drive still, and so my husband will drive whole journey. So when we went there, I will just talk to him or sing songs. But after that, we drive back, I will just fall asleep.
So the Sweet Henrik says, I think you should go and get a refund. He totally got the wrong size gauntlets. You know, I think let's...
Oh, I think we lost the last part. If you want to see the...
We lost it, did you say?
No, that's fine. Yeah, you can see it in the reel.
That's
Yeah.
let's have a look.
Yes, this part.
I love the guy on the floor. You saw Lincoln's picture with the zombies gathered around the whiteboard?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks very natural. I'll just drag all the different animation into that time slider,
Okay.
that editor, and after that if we play it, and it will show you how those animation looks. But it was still need to write some codes. I don't know how they could do that. But just for the preview, we could just do things like that, like this, and play this. It's from the attack, and then stack back, attack again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the middle we need to.
Yeah, they all are.
I think we need another. Oh, we have another working, just like this sword on the shoulder and this and walking. So we need to add another working in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're finished.
All right. Well, that's the end of today's stream. Thank you, Linda, for
Thank you.
taking us through the animation of that. Apologies for falling asleep from time to time. It wasn't the content. It was just me being under the thing. Or rather, not getting any air from our air conditioner up there.
It's because this song is a DC song.
It is that time. Yeah. All right. So thank you for the Sweet Henrik for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. We are still considering doing 8 a.m. Finally, you're back. Cool. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.